All right, Mr. Seward here, and we are going to take a look at this tiny house design wall section template. This is page number 6 in your packet, and if you take a look at, I believe it's page number 4 right here, you'll see a more difficult to read full wall section of a house. Our wall section is only going to be for this shed right here. So it's a lot less complex, but I just want you to be sure that you know what a wall section is, and we're going to go through and do a little bit of um, labeling. And I'm going to start from the very bottom here. So I want you to make sure that you label this because you're going to need this in the future. I'm going to draw this arrow down to this little block right here. And what this is this is a 4x4 timber. Wow, that didn't go so well for me. Let's erase that and see if I can make that a little neater. So this is a 4x, having all kinds of trouble today. 4x4, there we are, timber. Okay. The next thing is this board right here on top of the timbers, and this is what's going to rest on the ground actually. Let's draw in the ground a little bit here, so we'll just make a little bit of a squiggly line like that. And because this is what's called a cross section, what we're going to do is we're going to actually cross section hatch the area underneath here a little bit to show that it's ground. So these symbols kind of tell a reader that what they're looking at is a particular type of material. So I'm just going to do a few of these. I don't have to fill the whole page. All right, so that's the cross hatching for a piece of ground, so dirt, essentially. All right, now this board right here rests on top of the 4x4. This is called a floor joist. So this is a 6x6 floor joist. "24 inches OC." And OC stands for on center. So I'm going to come out with my little arrow and just put that there. Now, going to the outside of the building, these slanted lines, that is actually siding. So I'm going to write this, and I'll come out here and I'll go down to this and just put a little dot. Okay, so that is siding. Now, if you look really close behind the siding, there's a little uh, area that's not filled in. Depends on how well this print came out. Mine's not so great, but you can see just like a little white area. Okay, that is actually going to be right there. All right, and that is plywood sheathing. So that's plywood sheathing. Now, this area right here that's blank or empty, that is actually going to be a 2x4 stud, and these are made out of wood. Okay, 2x4 studs, and those are at 24 inches OC on center. Now, as we go up, all right, we're going to get into what is called our 2x6 rafter. So I'm going to write this out, 2x6, and that's what this is in here. This is a 2x6 rafters. And on our roof models, those were called we called them the cords, because they went across the bottom cord. Okay, and those are at 24 inches OC, which stands for on center. So have an arrow come out there and go down to there. So this is a floor joist that's sticking out of the house. Now, right here on the end, you can see these little boxes. There's one down here with a cross in it, and right here and right here. Those are 2x4s that have been cut in half when you did this section. And we need to put one of those right here on the end of this joist. So you draw that little rectangle and you put an X. Now, sitting on top of the floor joist, because this is going to be a flat roof for this particular shed, is going to be a piece of plywood. So there's always going to be a piece of plywood. So this is just going to be a little rectangle here. And hopefully you were clever enough to not get too close to the lettering, but do the best you can. And this is plywood sheathing. All right. And then above the plywood sheathing, because this is a flat roof on this particular shed, okay, is going to be, and I'll put a little dot here, this is going to be what we call a built-up roof. So it's usually a layer of some sort of a rubber material, and then on top of that you'll put some sort of a protective material for that. So let's see, did I get everything? 2x6. Oh no, I did forget one thing. This area right here, and this is the most inside line from the stud to this line right here, and up here from our rafter down to that line right there, they're the same thing. So I'm just going to do this, and that is gypsum board. GYP, what is it? SUM board. Okay, so that'll come down to here, and this one will also come down to there. So that's the gypsum board on the house. In our shed, okay, the ceiling height is going to be 7 feet 6 inches, and our roof elevation, so from the bottom of the joist all the way up to the top of the or to the bottom of your rafter is going to be it's 8 feet, 0 inches. Okay, so that is the sectional view for our tiny house design of the shed.